I guess it's as good as it can get. All right, all right. So today I'm doing a stream. I hope I can be heard. Got my beautiful flowers front and center. So today I'm doing the stream while I'm doing my earlier day thing. I'm kind of rolling slow today. I went out for um I went out for penny shopping. I'm like addicted. It's fun. I usually go to thrift stores, but I didn't found something new and I'm having lots of fun with it. Lots and lots of fun. Too much fun. Anyhow, um, anything for a thrill, right? Anything for a thrill. So let me say this. Where's my drink? So I'm having a good time with it. I'm having a good time with it. So I'm always thinking about stuff. I'm always thinking about stuff. And I was kind of reflecting. I was reflecting on some of the things I experienced, some of the things that kind of shape my worldview. I've admitted as much that, my worldview is kind of skewed. And I know that. Um, I always talk about W.E.B. Du Bois, you know, and how healthy it was for me to come in contact with the work of W.E.B. Du Bois. Um, because I grew up in a time, in an environment where there was no such thing as, what's the word? There was no such thing as multiculturalism. You know what I'm saying? There was no such thing. Let me see if I can push this down a little bit, if that helps to balance the scale of this thing. Okay, maybe that's better. Is that better? It's more stable. Yeah. So I grew up in a time where there was no such thing as multiculturalism. Let me get this around. Make sure I don't snatch this cord. Okay. But I grew up in a time where there was no such thing as multiculturalism, where, people weren't celebrating people's difference. You know, that wasn't where I grew up. I did not grow up in a hostile environment either, right? It wasn't hostile. I didn't grow up in a hostile environment, but I grew up um, with my own challenges. I grew up with my own challenges, and those challenges came in the form of being the other. And I'm not gonna sit and be like, "Oh, it wasn't any black people for miles around." No, it's not that. I want to say my school, probably, I talked about this before. My school growing up, my school experience, I was mostly the only black in most of my classes. Um, and in private school, just me and I can't remember, I can't forget his name. Me and old Marshall. It was just me and old Marshall, the only two. Hell, I think we might have been the only two black kids at the private school. When I think about it, we might have been the only two black kids at the private school. But anyway, I reflect on, these things because they change my perspective and they shape my perspective and my worldview. And like I said, this was not like I didn't grow up in a hick town. I didn't grow up in any what do you call it? I didn't grow up in any hostile environment. There was no multiculturalism. There was really no affirmative action. There was no celebration of difference. It was just kind of what I call a white utopia. So I grew up in a white utopia. Okay, let me see. I was summoned. Okay. Hey, hello. But I grew up in a white utopia, And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do chats and stuff because I'm not. I know this thing invites a lot of people who I've never met before, and so if I get a lot of strange people who make strange comments, I'm gonna just make it a point to turn off. Y'all didn't say anything wrong, but I'm just saying that's what I'm gonna end up doing eventually. If I get a lot of strange people who pop up and they say stuff and I don't know who they are or what they're doing, I'm gonna make it a habit, without exception, 100% to always have no chat. But anyway, I do live streams because I have no skills. Okay, I have no skills when it comes to YouTube, like none. I don't know how to upload shit. I don't know how to download shit. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do anything, and I don't really care. But I got other stuff I need to focus on. I used to pay people like $500 to do like commercials, like social media commercials, and I'm over that. I'm not doing that anymore. I won't say I wasted too much money, but when I realized that you can really produce your own damn short social media videos and you can actually edit them, I was just like, you know what, I'm just wasting money. So I stopped doing that. But it was creating some jobs and generating income for somebody because I was always hired and contracting somebody for that. So I don't totally regret it. But anyway, yeah, growing up in a white utopia, like I said, I really appreciate W.E.B. Du Bois because he gave me a healthy perspective, I think, to learn and grow from as it relates to being other in a predominantly white environment. So I called it White Utopias because it shapes your perspective. So how does that work, right? When your norm, to be honest with you, to be totally honest with you, when your norm of society is kind of whiteness, like that's the culture you grow up in, whiteness, literally whiteness. Um, I'm not even going to get into what whiteness means. I know what the fuck it means, and I hope anybody who is listening understands what whiteness is. White is not a skin color; it's a mentality. Whiteness, and it's kind of difficult. I can't even really explain it. I can't explain it. It takes too much to try to explain. I'm not going to bother to try to explain it. But whiteness, from somebody who is black, to grow up around whiteness, and I do not, let me repeat that again, I do not mean anything like victimhood. I don't mean anything when I say whiteness. I don't mean anything like, I don't mean anything like I'm hurt, I'm worried, I was threatened. No, 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 no. I don't recall having had any experiences that were blatantly rude, disrespectful, hurtful. It was navigating whiteness. That's all I can tell you. There was nothing blatant and disrespectful or harmful done. Let me say that. Nothing. Nobody ever called me a nigger. Well, I did have one incident when I was in high school where somebody in a social studies class said something, but that was high school, and that's not uncommon when you start thinking for yourself and having opinions. I had some critiques in a social studies class, and I had this one guy. I'll never forget him. His name is Jason Melcher. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, Melcher, that's a Jewish name. But Jason Melcher was a known redneck. And redneck was a funny thing because I used to listen to hip hop, right? I used to listen to hip hop. And then they used to wear, what do you call it? Hunting clothes? Look like hunting gear, deer hunting gear or whatever. Come on, your food is ready. Come on, go ahead. They used to wear hunting gear, which is weird, ain't it? Hunting gear. Who the hell wears hunting gear to school? But that was kind of like it was a style. It was like a white subculture. And they call themselves rednecks, but I don't think they actually, these were the ones that came from the more rural area. Because we had two areas um my school that my school catered to. Because they used to bus in some kids who lived outside of the, let me say this. They bust in the white kids who lived in the rural areas to the white school, which is the school I went to. They had a black school at this place called Harlem, way out in the country. And so, so one of the things they did is they didn't want to have to send them white kids from the rural area. And I don't even know if they were poor white kids because I don't even know if they were poor white kids. I think about that now. Were they? I don't think they were. Go ahead, drink, eat your food. Eat your food, Pooh. I don't even think they were poor white kids because, yeah, I don't think their rural didn't translate to poor. I never associated with the rural white kids. I never did. Their culture was kind of different. Like I said, the way they dressed, they used to wear fishing hook on their cap. They wear a camouflage cap, and then they would bend the fuck out of it, almost triangular shape. I thought that was strange, but they wore hunting gear. That was this is how you knew the rural kids. They bust them white rural kids in because the rural area, which was far out, same county, but it was on the edge. It was a lot of poor black people that lived way out there in the rural area. So they created a high school called Harlem High School. And that school was, like I said, on the edge of Columbia County. And that's where they went to school. I think it was a small school too. I have a feeling it was small. And so I don't know how many folks lived out there. I really don't. I never went out there. It was real rural. I mean, I live in the suburbs. What the fuck am I going to do going all the way out to the rural area on the edge of the county? Like, why would I go out there? So I don't know much about them, honestly. I lived in the burbs. Eat your food. I lived in the burbs, the solid burbs, right? Subdivisions, gated communities. That's where I lived. The white burbs. So I called it white utopia. White utopia. Okay, I'm trying to let me focus. I gotta get this stuff done while I talk. I'm loading my dishwasher. I tend to talk while I'm being productive. Can't waste too much time, Time is important. But I grew up I grew up in the burbs, the white suburbs, and it had quite an effect on me. Quite an effect. I think I had an identity crisis, if I'm honest. I had an identity crisis because I am black and brown skin, and my family's brown skin, you know. And we happen to be some of them striving black people. And I had a father who was real serious about, doing better. My dad is one of those people who pulled himself up by the bootstraps, went into the military, excelled as a black officer, highly respected. Um, and he was able to afford, him and my mother both educated, and my mother's family is, I guess you would say, more like solid black middle class. My father's family, rural black poor, and he got the hell out of there. And when he left, he decided that he wanted to have a certain kind of life, and he poured all his energy into creating that life by hard work, education, and the military. So my dad was, he's. Let me say that he's still alive. My dad is very alive and kicking. My dad is amazing. He's an amazing man. Not without faults. Everybody has stuff, but my dad is an amazing man, and I learned so much from him. He's so smart. I love my dad. Um, but that's the one thing I got from him is how important it is to do better, to strive, to stay focused, to know what's important, Don't waste your time and money on stupid things. Really have a plan. Have a plan for your life. Have a vision for your life and spend all your time and energy executing your plan. That's what I learned from my father. And my dad is the type of person he really believed in education. Education, skills, knowledge, question everything, challenge everything, right? And needless to say, I spent a lot of time having debates with my dad. He would ask me these random questions. He was always trying to get me to think. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Spent a lot of time. So I would give my father a lot of credit for my critical thinking skills, and his encouraging me to to be an overeducated individual, and that I am. But that's very similar to my mother's family. Bunch of overeducated people, lots of overeducated people. But my dad was the first one in his family to graduate from high school. Isn't that something? First one. Oh, daddy's here. Hey, Pooh. Hey, hey, I'm doing a. Say, hey, everybody. I don't think it's everybody. I don't have no big channel. I'm just running my mouth while I'm busy. How are you? How was your day? That's good. Did you come bearing something? Pears? Where'd you get pears from? You do be bringing random fruit. Where he get them from his own yard? Oh, oh, okay. He robbing the church. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh wow. Are they the good apples? Oh, you got a whole bag. Let me see. I like those Honey Crisp. Ah, that's the one I like. All I need is my raisin. Ah, I think that's called. That's not Anju. That's not Anju. We gotta look up what kind of pear that is. That's cool. I ain't never had no purple pear. You know how I am. I'm not eating brown eggs. I'm not eating no purple pears. Luna don't eat, what is it? Yellow meat, watermelon. She had a fit when we had that watermelon out the garden and had the yellow. She was like, no, no. She went crazy. Yep. I'm gonna finish these and then I'm gonna get off because this is gonna be a short one. This is very short. No, I'm just telling you. I just got on and I'm about to finish these dishes and then I'm getting off. But anyhow, yeah, I'm about to eat a purple pear. Let's see what that tastes like. How you laughing? Yeah, it's an experience, isn't it? It is a purple pear. You didn't see it? I'm gonna show it to you. It's purple. I'm showing you. It's not green. It's purple. Look, you see it? It's purple. You ever seen a purple pear? You have? No, you haven't. She's talking about she. No, she didn't. She ain't seen no purple pear. Anyhow, I was saying, okay, too. Yeah, the pear is purple. It tastes the same, probably. I bet. Let me finish this. 'Cause I gotta move on with my day. But the thing that was crazy to me growing up, I didn't got all off topic. The thing that was crazy growing up to me is um had I knew look, okay, let's just say honestly. Black culture is different than white culture. Discipline in the black community is different than discipline in the white community, okay? And I have enough sense. Look, I might be around y'all, but I know the difference, okay? So some of my friends growing up, I'm like, my whole neighborhood, school I'm going to, my dad, he did move maybe two times, no, three times due to the military. So I had different places, but anywhere I went, I promise you this, the kids acted the same. When I'm talking about they acted the same, the white kids, they can talk to their parents crazy. Do y'all know that? White kids from the birds, they can talk crazy to their parents, y'all. They sure do. They cuss their parents out. I remember witnessing that. I knew already how they act. They can act a fool. I knew that. And they get away with it. They get away, they act a whole fool and they get away with it. And I used to see some of my friends and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the first one I had was Marie. Marie was down the street. She was my friend. She reminded me of, I'm trying to think who I can, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody, it doesn't matter what she looked like. But um, she used to talk to her parents. She had older parents. They had her old. Now, I don't know if she, her parents was gray. That's all I can tell you. Everybody used to think that was her grandparents. And Marie used to get mad. Marie had amazing bedroom. Her parents went to no end. Okay. And I had Amanda next door, Amanda Beasley. And she had a father who him and his brother had a development construction architecture company. And she lived next door. And I used to love to play at Amanda's house because Amanda daddy, he used to build her some shit back there. He didn't build her all kind of stuff. He built her a life size dollhouse, and me and her used to play in there. Okay, and she had sandboxes. He would just like they're construction people, so they would just build all kind of shit back there in the back, sandboxes, this, that, playground. Amanda had it going on next door on the left side. But anyway, Marie down the street. Marie down the street, she had older parents, and I would go over there, and Marie used to cut up. She used to cut the whole fuck up. She'd get mad and throw a fit. And we talking about 7, 8, 9. So Marie was my first experience for real, like seeing white kids interact with their parents. You know what I'm saying? You be playing outside, so you don't know, right? Now I never saw Amanda do that, but Marie was my first experience. She would tell her mama something, and her mama tell her clean your room up. And I mean, she had toys, and I mean anything you can think of. They done bought the girl everything. That damn room was full of just full of stuff. She was an only child. Her parents was old. I just think they were old because they had all gray hair. I think the parents probably had fertility issues, and she was the only kid they had. She might have been adopted. I don't know. But Marie used to have a conniption fit. She used to cut her food. She used to throw stuff, slam the door, this, that, da, 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 She used to talk to them crazy. She used to tell her parents, no. I remember when I heard her say no. She would just look him in the face defiantly, no. And I'd be like, ooh, they about to beat the hell out of her. And all they would do is try to reason with her. Marie, stop acting like this. Marie, can you just be nice? And I'd be looking like, oh my God, I can't believe she's getting away with this. So Marie was my first experience. I'm trying to get somewhere here, what I'm saying. But these white kids, when I was growing up, that shit baffled my soul. Because let me tell you something. In the Freeman household, you was not finna raise your voice. You was not finna yell. You damn sure wasn't finna throw nothing. And what happened by the time we got to preteen, I had to find out a little something that's different that they doing that was not happening among us few blacks. Let me tell y'all how this works. White people who have money, okay, and the birds, when their children cut a fool, this some dirty work now. When their children cut a fool and they don't want to deal with it, y'all know what they do? They had this place called Charter Behavior Health Center. They used to call Charter and make an appointment. They wouldn't say nothing to the kid. So I remember I had this one particular friend. It was commonplace. You see white kids, they 13, 14 years old. They didn't got big enough to whoop everybody ass or act real crazy and cuss the parents out and all this. So that's cool. That's cool. Do it. See, the parents got some dirty work for you because they busy with their career. See, their parents got law firms they trying to run, dental offices they own, businesses they run, stuff like that. They're not about to. Okay, finish that, and I get you your road. They're not about to put up with your mess. They're not about to let these kids will either get on drugs or break curfew, be hanging out, doing what they want to do. When their parents say something to them, they nut up. I remember Courtney. which is a girl I used to hang. My mama didn't like her. We lived in the same neighborhood. And Courtney's mama was a nurse, and her daddy owned the Piccadilly. And Courtney used to get mad. She had braces. I had braces. And she used to get mad with her parents. She'd tell them, give me this much money, or I want to get the keys to the car. Her mom be like, no, you're grounded, or whatever. And she would nut up. She had a room. Her room was above the garage. And I don't know if y'all know, but they usually use that as a bonus or a game room. And that's a big room. And she'd go in there, and I mean, she'd tear that room up. And I witnessed it one time. And I was like, oh my God, her mom is going to kill her. And they put her in that room because it was further away upstairs from everybody else. So that's why she got that big ass room. They put her all the way at the end of the hallway. She had two other sisters. And she used to have these fucking fits all the time. She cussed everybody, you fucking bitch. I hate you. And I'd be like, oh my God, they're going to come in here and kill her. They're going to definitely kill her. They never killed her. And what happened was, Courtney disappeared. I remember the first time it happened. We were good friends. We were damn near best friends. I had two Courtneys as friends. A lot of Courtneys out there, you know. I had a skinny Courtney, and this was a chunky Courtney. The chunky Courtney was actually pretty, pretty, pretty. But anyway, this shit right here, she disappeared, right? And I kept calling her house. I was like, "Can I speak to Courtney?" She wouldn't answer the phone. Her mom or her sisters would answer the phone. She's not here right now. She's not going to school, y'all. She ain't at school. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And it's like 2, 3 weeks later. She's like, let me tell you what that fucking bitch did. She put me in charter again. I was like, what? What? And so that was commonplace. That was commonplace. Let me tell y'all something. It's dirty work. That's why I be trying to. I want to talk about the burbs because it's a different life that a lot of people don't know nothing about. I was thinking about writing a book. It's exposure to things you can't even imagine. But I remember growing up, that was dirty work, man. These white folks, black folks never did this. The handful of black folks we had, they never did this. But them white folks, they got businesses, they got stuff they trying to do, and they are not about to let their children get in their way. So when you start acting and cutting the food, cussing folks out, decide you want to get high, try to smell some marijuana on you, going to charter. You screaming, bitch, I fuck you, hate you, I can't stand you. You're going to charter. You know, the time for you to come home is 12 o'clock midnight or 11 p.m. and you decide you're gonna do your own thing, you going to charter. You going to charter. And let me tell y'all how the dirty work go. This how it go though. This is what's nasty about it. The kids just disappear from the suburb. The white kids, they just disappear. You be at school, they be calling roll. You notice like, damn, Josh ain't been here in 5 fucking days. What happened to Josh? And everybody start whispering. I bet he's in charter. And sure enough, 2, 3 weeks later, you find out, yeah, man, my parents, I remember Shane, his ass used to go to charter all the time. His ass used to go all the time. He was a fool. But as soon as it's first sign of trouble, and that's the dirty work of it. Their parents wouldn't say nothing. They wouldn't say nothing. Their parents would have their bags packed in the trunk. They tell them, hey, we're gonna go to the movies or we're going so and so. The kid get in the damn car. The teenager get in the car, and they think they're going to, have some family fun or going on a outing with their parents. They pull up the charter and it's not up. They pull them up the charter and they tell them, go ahead and get out the car. And they literally, that's dirty work, ain't it? No conversation, no nothing. And you don't know when you go in the charter how long it's going to be before you get out. And it's called a behavior healthcare management system. That's the form of discipline they was using in the burbs. White folks who got money, they put your ass in charter. You're not finna mess their money up. You're not finna get on their nerves and get them unfocused. They not finna talk with you. They not finna go back and forth with you, cussing and screaming. I remember so many times when Courtney would decide she wanted to get mad and buck up on her mama. Mom's a nurse. She'd tell us, she said, keep acting like that. You're going to charter. That's what she used to do. And so that's what parents did. That was what they do. They wouldn't even say, I'm going to do this. They didn't even bother with discipline. They'll threaten you. You're going to go to charter. Keep playing. I'll take you to charter. And them kids will straighten up. But ain't that some crazy stuff? Ain't that some crazy stuff? That's the type of privilege that you don't even have to bother raising your children. And their parents would drive off. Their parents would open that door, let them the staff come get them out the car, drag them in there, dope them up on some drugs, calm their ass down, give them some Valium or something. Then they have to sit there and do therapy every day, all day. Why do you act like this? Why are you angry? What are you going through? Let me help you manage your behavior. We want to get behavior modification. We want you to learn how to behave appropriately. And when you get yourself together, then we're gonna call your parents to come get you. When you get yourself together, that's what they tell them. And they would be in there for indefinite periods of time, locked up, and they come back to school. And it got so random and regular. You act up, charter. Act up, charter. I can't tell y'all how many kids charter got rich. That's all I can tell you. They made a lot of money in the bird. Ain't that nasty work though? Ain't that nasty work? You don't even talk to your kid. You don't bother giving them knowledge and information. You don't bother explaining, having parent to parent conversations. What they understand is the threat. Do what I don't want you to do. You going to charter. No conversation. And I wouldn't be surprised. What are you doing? You finished? I wouldn't be surprised if charter at this point probably got a pickup program. They just pick you behind up. I wouldn't be surprised. You used to have to take your kid. I bet you now they'll probably come pick your kid up from the house. But that's what they used to do. And it didn't go through DFAX or nothing about that. Nothing. They used to put your behind straight into charter. All right. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I got a poem that I'm gonna do. I'll do it separately, but it's called White Utopias Will Fuck You Up. It's a good poem, and I'm gonna record that later on. But ain't that something? Imagine what that does to the psychology of a kid, 12, 13 years old. How cold blooded that is. Like I'm gonna drop you off at a facility, right? Like you crazy, and I'm gonna leave you for indefinite periods of time, and there's no contact. This is your form of punishment. And it's cold blooded. And anytime you get out of line, I'm not having no conversation with you. I'm taking you to the facility and I'm dropping you off. That's what I grew up around. Ain't that some shit? The burbs, man, the burbs. White utopias. Very interesting place.